We have a collaboration that has been developing over the last several years. We have an advisory group that has evolved to help us to put radiation therapy at our hospital. And Professor Ngwa is part of that group. He's actually from Cameroon, not from very far away from where our hospital is located. So he has a personal interest in it and has been very supportive of us working of this project and helping us to make progress with it. So then we have a group of about probably 7 or 8 people with different specialties. We've got some two civil engineers. We've got a nuclear physicist. We've got 3 radiation oncologists and a medical physicist that are all part of the team that helped. And so we're at the level where we have designed the bunker that the linear accelerator goes into. We're just about ready to submit that for approval to the authorities in Cameroon. And we have a donated used linear accelerator sitting in Wales and England, so that's ready to ship out. So we've made good progress, and a lot of that is due to the collaborations that we get through this meeting and the people who come here. Training. So we have one young man from our hospital who's in Germany at the University of Mannheim, training in medical physics, and it was through the collaboration with the people here that we were able to send him. We have scholarship funds that come through our contacts here to train. So I have one of our young physicians will be going to Stellenbosch on a scholarship that's connected to what they do, the people that are here that have helped us with that. And so you meet people and get ideas about how you can progress with the project. It's a very complicated project, and it's for someone like me who's not in this, doesn't work in this field, it's a bit daunting. Yeah, so at our hospital we have a very excellent surgical program, and we have pathology, full-time pathology at the hospital, a good imaging department, and we have medical oncology available. But to do comprehensive cancer treatment, radiation therapy is a major component of that, and especially in an area where we're working, where patients come with advanced disease, because it's estimated that perhaps 90% of patients with solid tumors can benefit from radiation therapy. It's a higher percentage than it is in the developed world. Radiation therapy is generally not available to the average patient all across sub-Saharan Africa. There's an enormous deficit in this particular area because the technology is very sophisticated. It requires it's expensive to set it up, and then it's expensive to maintain. It takes very highly technically trained individuals, physicians, and other people to actually operate the equipment safely. And so it pushes the envelope about what's possible, especially on a wide scale. There are limited, on a limited basis, there are centers that do radiation therapy, but the need is enormous and generally is not being met in the sub-Saharan African countries. So we have, at the level that we are at in our hospital, we're receiving about 1,000 new cancer patients each year. And we try to refer some of those, but it's very difficult for patients from our area to go down to the cities. We're 8 hours away from the coast and from the capital. So to go there, for our people to go there, to find housing, to get through all of the to meet the specialty people that they need to meet. It's complicated and difficult and quite discouraging to many of them. So many of our patients don't succeed. And we think that we can deliver much better care if we have our own unit and can provide the care for the people that are from our area. It's estimated that the need is to have one linear accelerator for each million patients in a population. And the population of Cameroon is about 25 million. So it would be nice to have a lot of units. And right now we have one cobalt machine that's working, and there's a private clinic that has a linear accelerator now operating. So that's the level that we're at. But most patients they can't afford it, or they don't have access. We have actually pretty good internet access at our hospital. We have a fiber optic cable that's there. So we do utilize it. We use it for information technology as our primary reference for medical information is all online now. And we do conferences of various kinds that are involved in our, especially with our postgraduate training programs. We do live video conferencing with that. But it's used as a supplement. Something that is as technical, so for instance, having someone train in radiation oncology is very much of a hands-on thing where you have to go to a place where they're actually doing it. And so I think that having information on the cloud, there are different tools they're talking about here at the conference about how you might use this to help in planning the therapy for patients, and it would speed things up, make it easier for people who are planning radiation therapy, for example. But you really have to, medical training is done pretty much in a one-on-one setting where you have preceptors that oversee your work and help you to learn in a very close relationship. So it can be used as a supplement for the information side of it. It's very helpful, but it doesn't replace the direct interaction between the patient and the trainee and his supervisor. That's the key component in medical education. We are on the national grid at the hospital right now, and we use diesel generators as our backup electrical source. But we are in the process, well down the road of a process of building a hydroelectric plant at the hospital, which will generate enough power to provide electricity to run the hospital indefinitely, is what we hope. And will provide stable power. The quality of electricity is problematic in across sub-Saharan Africa with voltage fluctuations, and it goes on and off, different things of that sort. And it's very damaging to sophisticated medical equipment. So we hope that this hydroelectric project, when we complete that, will address that issue, and we won't have that problem. Well, actually, in our particular area, there isn't a lot of sun because we are in a mountainous area, and we have a lot of rain, and we have looked at that a bit, but because we have a lot of rain, we have a lot of water, and so solar, works well, but only when the sun's out. You have to store the energy, but the hydroelectric is we think an ideal solution because it runs continuously. I think that the primary problems that we get into are some of our patients, well, many of our patients, most of our patients visit traditional healers as part of the therapy, either before they come to see us or even during the time they can continue to take traditional treatments. They have a lot of confidence in that sort of thing. There are some patients who have a lot of confidence in their pastors and the ability of their pastors to help them with prayer and other things. So we have had examples where patients, would actually be taken out of the hospital and taken to someone where they could be receive that kind of support. There are patients in our area who will perhaps start with us. They get a diagnosis of their disease, and for whatever reason, they will decide to transfer to to try traditional treatment rather than continue. When people are coming with very advanced disease, we are only able to offer palliation for them for the problem, and they are, everyone hopes for a cure, and if someone promises them, that they have the ability to do that, that's attractive. So it's in that light that I think many people decide to take that option. We try to be straightforward and honest with our patients about what we can accomplish for them, and when they're coming with advanced disease, we don't want them to be under the illusion that the treatments we offer are going to provide a cure, that it's much more palliation. So many patients do come with very advanced disease in that setting because they don't have access to care, or there's delay in diagnosis. I think it's in the area of education, and when people have good information, they make better decisions. So we have one of our oncologists spends a lot of time working with women, especially talking about the early signs of breast cancer, and if they find something abnormal, that they need to seek treatment right away. And we do that through our churches a lot of times. We talk to the men about prostate cancer. In children, the most prevalent tumor that we see is Burkitt's lymphoma, and there's quite a lot of that, and that's a very rapidly growing tumor. So if there's any significant delay, the disease progresses very quickly. And so what we want is through education for people to realize that when there is something like that, to try to take them to a facility where a diagnosis can be made quickly and we can initiate treatment, especially some of these tumors that grow very rapidly, or it's very important for that. We see really tragic cases that come with women who come with far advanced cervical cancer or widely metastatic breast cancer, and it's very tragic because we have some palliative care that we can offer, but it's limited, and it doesn't help nearly as much as we would wish that we could. And it would have been much better if we had gotten the patients earlier, where we could have done more.